Hello, ladies
And gentlemen.
and gentlemen. No, Val Venus didn't always say it that way, but anyways,
Yeah.
welcome to a Wednesday night, a
Y'all
tradition
doing?
like no other. We talk
Mhm.
about nerd stuff,
Nerd shit.
and this is PS Comics. I love you.
How y'all
The
doing?
official pop culture podcast of Carapy Broadcasting and all things that are wholly nerdy here in the Coachella Valley and around the world, wherever you may be watching us, listening to us,
Yep.
enjoying us, the sweet melodic sounds of your hosts. And for those who don't know you, to my right, to my left, sometimes he's on top, sometimes he's on the bottom. He is
Ooh.
JR Kombakungan at also not JR Comics 42. That sounded dirty.
It's only dirty if you think about it, and I thought about it. How y'all doing, man? How y'all doing? Thank you very much for my cohort here. It's been a minute. It has been a minute. It's been a interesting week per se, my friend.
It has
I
been,
know
man.
that. Yeah, this is an episode that's a long time coming, but without further ado, and of course, if those who are listening to our podcast or any other audio format, my buddy here is holding up a beer, a mug per se, with a cheap plug, actually an awesome plug to the one, the only comic asylum here in Palm Desert. I need one. I definitely need a mug like that, man. But yeah, man, it's been an interesting week, been a cool week. It's been a minute. We are definitely going to talk about Book of Boba Fett, but I also want to introduce my partner in crime here to my right, left, up, down, places. Yeah, the one, the only Kevin Pillow, aka the voice of reason. How you doing, my friend?
By the way, I'm not going to get into too much details, but I want Voice of Reason 23 on TikTok. Freaking some
Oh man, we can talk about that. I want to talk about that.
dickhead decided to hijack
Yeah.
a screen name I wasn't going to use. I'm not a fan of TikTok. I like Instagram Reels.
Yeah.
I like YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
But some freaking dickhead borrowed or stole whatever, laid claim to Voice of Reason 23 on TikTok before I could lay claim to it, and sullied it in its good name. Unfortunately, so
super conservative. I will
yeah,
just say that.
we don't get political too much on this show, and the most we'll say about politics right now, other than this knucklehead who hijacked my screen name that I wasn't using.
Yep.
We are aware of what is going on in the world right now. I figured you guys need
fucking scary to watch.
It's frightening to watch.
Yeah.
So whether you're on the left and you're afraid of watching Fox News, and if you're on the right and you're afraid of watching CNN, we're on YouTube Watch, we're on YouTube, Facebook Watch, and of course Twitch.tv and live on Twitter. So if you're scrolling through Twitter, dude, just throw us on, like us, subscribe us. Anyway, so yeah, we know there's some crazy stuff going on in the world, but we're here to bring a little fun and frivolity to the world. I gotta say, when you come out of the Super Bowl, real quick, to go back to harken back to last week's episode, and if you want a full breakdown of all the trailers and goodness that came out of Super Bowl Sunday, and a breakdown of our the breakdown of the halftime show, you can go back and listen on last week's episode. But like Jerry, you mentioned that there were some trailers that came out this past week. There were. I'm trying to think of. I had them in my notes, but I didn't. But
yeah, man.
We did get some other news. I know full-blown tinfoil hat wearing nerds living down in their mom's basement, eating Funyuns and drinking Mountain Dew and listening to Led Zeppelin albums are breaking down that Doctor Strange trailer like it's the Zapruder film. It's getting crazy. Theories. People are dissecting the movie poster now. It is getting nuts. We've heard rumors of cameos from Captain Carter to Deadpool. John Krasinski as Captain America. John Krasinski as Mr. Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise as Superior Iron Man.
God, yes.
It's gone nuts.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito as Wolverine. I mean, it's I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, I
People
know.
think
I
that
know.
Wolverine is in this, and it's not going to be Hugh Jackman,
It's gonna
and
be
that
lazy
there
though.
is rumored that there is, oh god, what's the guy's name from the Kingsman, the young guy?
Oh, something Engelbert?
Yeah,
Something
everyone
yeah.
from him
Yeah.
to Hugh Jackman to Danny DeVito to Russell Crowe, who I believe is already, well, he's playing obviously the Penguin
Yeah.
in, and yes, that is him in the Batman,
No,
which
no,
comes
no.
out.
Yeah.
It's
No, that's
Russell
not him.
Crowe. Oh,
It's
it's
Russell
him.
Crowe?
It doesn't.
No. The other guy. He was Alexander.
Alexander.
Yeah, remember with in Troy. No, not Troy. Dude, no. He's
In in in
with
the
with
Gladiator.
in yeah, he's not here. That's not Russell Crowe though. With Russell Crowe.
Okay,
Russell
now
Crowe was in. Yeah, he was actually no, that wasn't Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe
now I
was
gotta look it up. I'm
yeah. The Penguin was actually Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell. I
Colin Farrell.
apologize. That's who I was thinking of.
Russell Crowe though is in a Marvel movie with. I'm gonna throw it to you for the Valley Loop in an awesome Thor movie.
Russell Crowe
Mhm.
is going to be in Thor: Love and Thunder, correct?
Yes, sir.
But who I have heard that Russell Crowe also could
There
be
you go.
playing a variant of
Mm,
Logan, aka Wolverine.
that'd be
I've
awesome.
even heard actually, but I was thinking of both.
Okay.
That I've even heard Colin Farrell's name
Okay.
of playing Wolverine
That'd
in
be awesome.
Doctor Strange and the multiverse of it. This movie's going to be sick.
Oh, would
It's
we
going to be
get? Would we get the? I forgot the actress's name, but then the one who played Laura. I don't know if her name was actually Laura Kinney, but in the last Logan movie, the X-23. I forgot the
I
actress name.
have heard that we
It's been a
could
minute
get
since we've seen her. She's fucking awesome, dude.
we could I have heard that
Yeah.
we could get X-23
Yeah.
as a reference. Now,
Yeah.
real quick, want to throw this out there before we get to Book of Boba Fett, because
Yeah.
we promise you we're going to get to Book of Boba Fett this week.
Yeah. Yes, we are.
And we're basically going to nerd out for like the next whatever how long.
Yeah.
But not only have I heard that yes, that Laura could appear in
Hope so, man.
in a movie, and it may not be in this one. They're saying that they could appear in Multiverse of Madness. There's a possibility they could appear in Quantum Mania.
Mhm.
You have to understand too, for those out there. This is not Loki opened the door to the multiverse.
Yep.
Technically, WandaVision did, and they've been quietly. WandaVision with the Darkhold open, creaked the door open.
Mm.
Loki kicked the door open.
Yeah.
What if blew up the house?
Yeah.
And No Way Home just burned the neighborhood down. I know my analogies are getting crazy. It's progressively getting worse, the multiverse. And that's what I love about that line from the trailer where Wong talks about you don't know what you've done, the power that you've unleashed, and Barrymore. And that's why it's like, that's such a great line too in the trailer where Wanda talks about you meddle with these powers and they make you a superhero. I meddle with these powers and I'm labeled the villain.
Yeah. That's not
such
fair,
a great line. And I think that right there, that is the with great power comes with great responsibility of this movie. That is the poignant part. So like I said, this kicked open this multiverse thing. It's only a matter of time. We have to be headed to Secret Wars.
I'm pretty sure we will be, dude.
There
has to be
if that's the Illuminati, which it's 99% sure it is. And of course, the cast of characters that could possibly be sitting on that dais is infinite, even though there's only like 6 chairs. But nonetheless, so remember that Captain Marvel looking character that we saw?
Yeah.
So people have broken it down, freeze framed it, zoomed in, digitally enhanced.
Of course they would.
And the only thing that is for sure, it's not Carol Danvers.
Yeah.
Okay. And people are thinking it is The reason is because the character does not look white.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Okay.
it could be Monica Rambeau.
Mm-hmm.
It could be Maria Rambeau.
Okay.
Or it could not be Captain Marvel at all.
Is it a possibility? Well, like I
It's a
watched the trailer now.
possibility it's a completely different character
Possibly.
that we've never seen before, played by an actor we have seen before in a different variant that would make sense.
Okay.
And it's none other than Jonathan Majors playing a variant of Kang the Conqueror known as Iron Lad. And what does Iron Lad do in the comic books, JR?
What does he do?
He creates the Young Avengers.
Eh.
So it's a possibility. I honestly think it's going to be a Maria Rambeau. I think it's going to be Monica's mother. Yeah. They're going to find a way to reintroduce the character because, unfortunately, her on-camera she had no on-camera send-off. She was not on. She was not in WandaVision. Though her death was in probably one of the most poignant episodes of Phase 4.
Yeah.
The last we saw her was her picture in WandaVision where it's said that she created Sword, co-created Sword. So it's like she needs a more poignant. Yeah. So, but that's the theory.
I feel though like that maybe this is just me. I'm wondering if they would go back and reference because of how historically in the comics how much America Chavez is such a huge fan. At first, she was a huge freaking fan, or not huge fan, but like want to be a like really close friends. I go to that with Captain Marvel, and how it wasn't until Civil War II that they butted heads. I feel like for me, this might be a crazy ass pull. I wonder if it's comic accurate Captain Marvel or Captain Marvel.
Ooh.
Because in the comics, of course, Captain Marvel was played. I forgot the actress's name in the Captain Marvel movie that came out in 2018. Was played by a woman.
It was played by a scientist. Annette Bening.
And she was a scientist. But then historically in comics, Captain Marvel was basically a depiction that is kind of Captain Marvel right now, where it's this spacefaring captain, obviously, that has not all the powers, but is quite much that is very similar to that of Captain Marvel right now. And this is actually not with the binary powers, which I mean I wish they just referenced binary powers in the movies because that would then reference other characters that had binary powers. But hey, I get it. Understand you want to make
that's what Nova has, right?
I don't know as of recently. All I do know is that Captain Marvel right now, Carol Danvers in the comics, she is Captain Marvel, rogues, basically rogues powers. But she could turn to binary at pretty freaking instantly, pretty fast, right? And that makes her increasingly strong. That makes her a super powerhouse. In the movies, they reference her crazy powers to the Power Stone. For what is it? One of the stones?
He would be the Space Stone. Technically, the Project Pegasus was based. Is what she was working on with Marvel. I can't remember what the other character's name was. Her Earth character was named. But Annette Bening's character in Captain Marvel, they were working on Project Pegasus, which was inevitably a sustainable energy project that is referenced in Iron Man 2, and is the influence to Stark Towers in Avengers 1. But Project Pegasus was also to create a quantum engine, which is what they were creating using Tesseract power. The engine exploded and gave
her
Carol
powers.
her powers.
Yeah, which is better than comic book version of she was around Skrulls. Oh no, she was around what was the species of the race of alien?
The Kree?
The Kree?
Skrull.
No, the Kree. That the weird comic version of that she was around Kree so much and around a machine around Kree that her blood became Kree bloodline. It was weird. But yeah, back on point though, like it'd be interesting to see. I'm hoping it's Captain Marvel. Maybe not. Maybe that's my ass pull. But a comic accurate Captain Marvel. That'd be just crazy. But yeah, dude, just I would love to see Daphne Keane back as X-23. She is
That'd be
doing
cool.
awesome right now, man. She's doing His Dark Materials. I think that is on Amazon. I need to watch again. That's freaking awesome. So yeah, she's 17 as well, or she's gonna be 18. So that's around that. That's right in that age frame of like these young actresses and actors possibly moving on forward. Oh, also another bit of news, my friend. According to Marvel, you know what the last Avengers Games movie is? You know what the next Avengers game movie gonna be, bro?
The last Avengers movie,
No, no.
according to
Yeah,
wait,
go ahead.
wait,
Go ahead.
the story, or I don't know if this is where you're going with this.
Yeah, yeah.
That Kevin Feige says the last Avengers movie we saw was Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
I read that. I did hear him say that
Yep.
because I did watch the the behind the scenes, the what's called, what are they called, assembled, the assembled series on Disney Plus, which was one of their weaker ones. So I don't know if it's doing any justice to the internals.
Okay.
But it was entertaining. But yeah, he made the point. He kind of insinuated that
This is it.
that this is it.
In games,
I
it.
think
In
it was
games, it.
I think it was taken out of context
Okay.
because I know he wants to focus on more individual characters and flushing out those characters.
Yeah.
But I think it's inevitable that we will head to
Have
when
a
we
team
get
up.
if we do indeed head towards Secret War. But we do remember, don't forget, guys, we have a potential Avengers level project we are headed towards, and that is Secret Invasion.
Well, not only that, but like if we also reference the amount of like possibilities of like films coming out soon, right? Like how Avengers-esque or Avengers level that these movies have been. Like we can go back to even as far as let's say even just recently, right? With Spider-Man No Way Home. Free Spider-Man, we never freaking seen before. That's insane. That could be in my terms of an Avengers S movie of that caliber. The current one going on right now. If any of these theories are going on, Multiverse of Madness could possibly be in that category as well. It's been reported multiple times over that that Thor: Love and Thunder is very much an Avengers S type of movie as well
Yeah,
with a huge cast going on.
it's a huge
So
cast.
huge freaking cast. I feel like there is gonna be those tentpole movies that's gonna be like, okay, cool, it's a big team up that's gonna happen. But I feel like the Avengers, the Avengers movie, I feel like it's not gonna happen. Like title as that, it will probably be like, okay, Secret War, yeah, like you said, Secret War is gonna happen, or let's say, Fantastic Four, or let's say the mutants that has been teased or that's been rumored to come out. I think in a year, 2 years from now.
Yeah,
Right. It's like I feel there is some credibility in the sense of like, yeah, I don't think we're gonna get a full on Avengers movie uh, because I feel like the ecosystem in which Marvel has created their universe is so much now that you don't need a specific Avengers title to bring in all these freaking actresses and actors together for one film anymore. I feel like we might have that, like, hey, okay, when are we gonna have that huge ass team up with Elena, with Kate, with possibly new Avengers, just doing regular shit. What if they're called the Champions, right? What if they're called something else?
and I think that is a possibility. And that was the thing, is like, I get they wanted to call it Avengers,
Yeah,
Age of Ultron, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers
yeah,
Endgame. I think that they missed an opportunity, and I know it's all about marketing, and when they got to get that big A up there, is they should have just done, okay, Avengers. Okay, they did the Avengers movie. Cool, boom, great, love it. And that the Avengers and Kevin Feige's whole theory behind doing Avengers Infinity War or Avengers Age of Ultron was like the comic books. You read an Iron Man book, you read Thor, you read Spider-Man, you read the Incredible Hulk, and then once a month you read the Avengers.
Mhm.
And they teamed up, they got together and they had to meet some, but they also had event books.
Yep.
Like Civil War,
Mhm.
Infinity War,
Mhm.
Infinity Gauntlet, Secret Wars, Civil War 2, House of M, Avengers versus X-Men.
Yep.
It had Age of Ultron. So I think that from a marketing standpoint, they missed the opportunity. And I think, though, going forward, we are going to get, quote, Avengers level movies. But I think they're not going to be called Avengers Secret War.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to be called Secret War.
Yeah. I feel like also, man, the marketing has been changing in the last couple of years, specifically for Marvel, because Marvel has been doing something different with their titling of their movies, right? Before, we would watch Iron Man, right? Be Iron Man 1, 2, and 3. It wasn't until, like, I don't know, maybe the last couple of years where they go Marvel's Avengers, Marvel presents the Black Panther, Marvel presents.
It was always Marvel Studios,
Eternal.
but literally if you go by technical standards, it's always been Iron Man 1 and 2 and 3. It's been Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 card. Of course, they have the little Marvel Studios up there, but the actual name of the movie, like, for example, The Avengers, the official name for that movie is not The Avengers.
No,
it's called Marvel's The Avengers.
Yeah.
And the rest of them, they were,
I do feel like the branding now stops becoming the Avengers and it actually becomes Marvel in its essence now. So you're not watching the Avengers movie, you're watching the Marvel movie. I feel like just even that small little recalibration helps in the long run, specifically for Marvel Studios, because of how just framing. Because, like, let's say, if they do, like, we're not gonna do an Avengers movie anymore, right? What are you gonna watch? We're gonna watch Marvel so and so movie.
Yeah.
So
I hope they do. Hey, you mentioned something about what was it? It was 3 what? You said it was really sick. Something that came out recently. There was 3 guys. 3 what? 3 men.
Yeah.
Was it 3 Spider-Men? Something like that.
Did I say that?
So now I just lost it. Where'd it go? I had it all set up. Son of a bitch.
Gosh, bro. Come on, man.
Wow. Okay. Let's go to this backup plan. So
Google. You gonna Google it?
I'm not gonna. Whatever.
It's all good.
So, got some unfortunate news. This past today. Now it's been long rumored, and this will be the last thing we talk about, and then we'll get into Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
That the release of Spider-Man No Way Home on digital would be happening this week. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. We found out that the digital release for Spider-Man No Way Home will be on March 22nd. And that we won't get if you're still into Blu-ray and DVD and stuff like that, you will not get a DVD Blu-ray release until sometime in April. So we thought, I honestly thought it was going to happen this weekend. It's been long rumored that February 28th would be the release of the digital, like iTunes and stuff like that. It would get a digital release, but apparently it's not going to happen. And so, yeah, it sucks. I only got to see the movie. Did you get to see the movie twice or
twice for me?
You got to see it twice. Yeah, I only got to see it once in theater. Unfortunately, for those that were sitting around me in the theater, unbeknownst to me that weekend, I had COVID. So it's not a lot. I'm not. I mean, it's just kind of weird to think about. I mean, like I said, didn't know. I was sitting there. I was wearing my mask the whole time. But like I said, unbeknownst to me, I had COVID. So the idea of going to go see Spider-Man again didn't cross my mind because, like I said, there was so much else going on. But as I try to bring up the picture that I had, let's see if it works now. If not, then we'll just move along. Is Marvel did release something into this past week, and it's still not wanting to show that screen. But either way, they basically recreated a beautiful moment for us fans, and that was the. Let's see if this works now. Nope, still not going to work. Anyways, doesn't matter. They recreated the meme of the Spider-Man meme. You could go over to. I shared it on our Instagram page. Go to PS Comics I Love You on Instagram. I shared it in our stories. They recreated the meme with the three guys while they were on set. It's insane the amount of secrecy they did to keep Toby and Andrew a secret. And I cannot. That's one of the things I can't wait for is to watch the behind the scenes video on that movie because I know that they're not going to do a Marvel's Assembled for Disney Plus because they shared the distribution rights with Sony. Also, by the way, for those of you watching, don't expect Spider-Man No Way Home to hit Disney Plus anytime soon. The rumor has it the streaming rights for Spider-Man No Way Home is on Sony Stars. There is no Sony streaming service. But that Stars has a deal with Sony to get their streaming rights. So that's where you could expect it, or it could even go to Netflix. We don't know, but do not expect it on Disney Plus anytime soon. I mean, case in point, Homecoming and Far From Home haven't even reached Disney Plus yet. Anyways, so that's that. Go over, check it out. It's on our Instagram page. Like us, follow us, stalk us, whatever. But enjoy the recreation of the infamous Spider-Man meme with Toby, Andrew, and Tom. It was great. Apparently, he also reveals in an interview that someone had a butt enhancer on set. So someone's got a flat ass, and I'm kind of curious, sort of, who it is. But anyway, moving right along, guys, let's talk about Book of Boba Fett. If you go back into the archives of this fine radio podcast streaming YouTube program, we left off on episode 4. And Jerry, you and I speculated at the end of episode 4 that Boba Fett and oh my gosh, I can't think of her name now. Fennec Shan's character were like, okay, we can't do this alone. Blah blah blah. We need help. I've got credits. What does credits buy you? Credits buys you muscle. And we're like, and then of course they had the little tease. They played the Mandalorian music, and of course, fast forward now, arguably JR of the last 3 episodes, one of the probably my favorite moments was the quiet kind of opening scene of episode 5. You see, it looks like a butcher shop. It has those like plastic kind of drapes that separate the workstations in a butcher shop, and around the corner comes, bam, the shadow of a Mandalorian. The music plays. Din Djarin walks through. He has the Beskar staff and whatnot. Oh, it was
good.
It was great.
It was definitely. I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna say this. Mandalorian and even Book of Boba Fett is still somewhat a continuation of the Clone Wars stories.
Absolutely,
specifically the Clone Wars animated series. And there has been speculation before of like I think when season 5 ended and 6, 7 were pronounced. I think we finally got 7. I think around the final season was 7 or 8. I forgot. I forgot my numbering right now. But both Filoni and George were like trying to reference like how do we end this type of stories? How do we give a full like a full caveat to not caveat but a full like end to the Clone Wars saga and these stories that that we try to bring and these characters that we brought in new and try see the full wonder fully fleshing out Boba I don't want to say his name right now, man, but a character. Well, yeah, okay. Well, I'll just call that later. And a bunch of other characters that were brought into the fold during the Clone Wars animated series, specifically Ahsoka, and oh man, dude, it was so like everything was pre-planned years in advance. Granted, there were some curveballs in there. Mandalorian took off. Book of Boba Fett was in the last couple of years, but the stories that were in those seasons 1, 2, Mandalorian, and Book of Boba Fett, were reference points back to the Clone Wars animated series, and that just shows you the dedication of Mr. Dave Filoni, and how the Star Wars universe is safe in his hands. like seriously. Oh man, the season episode 5 was really freaking good for me. It was definitely one of those like contrast episodes where like cool, we see a build up, we understand the build up, what's gonna happen with things back in with Boba and him being the Daimyo of the city. The city's the town escapes me at the moment. But we get this moment of reprieve to see Jindar Jarjan and see him going back into trying to find the remnants of Death Watch. And dude, it just oh my god, the lore in the first episode 5 was so good, dude, so freaking great, man. What is Darksaber? Who was it created from, and like what's left of the Death Watch, right? And everything about that episode was so good. It was definitely a different type of episode. It was for me. It was it was and the whole episode was directed by Bryce Dallas Howard. She's fucking amazing as a director,
Yes.
dude. Great freaking director, dude. And so yeah, it was episode 5 was great.
It was, and we like I said, I liked too that they didn't just all of a sudden let Mando wield the lightsaber or the dark saber. That they explained that there was almost personality to it. That you can't just wield this sword. That there is power. It's not just a mythological sword that has a laser beam like the Jedi's wield, because it's so that it's more to it, that the dark saber has a lot of character to that. I thought that was kind of interesting. And I geeked out on those for that first like couple of minutes. I geeked out with the whole dark saber because I almost forgot. I had forgotten. Yeah. Like, oh shit, that's right, he has it. And Bryce Dallas Howard, who did one of my favorite episodes in Mandalorian season 1, which was where they go and defend that town. The town where he first meets Cara Dune.
Yeah,
and that was Bryce Dallas Howard's first episode, and I like I said, it's one of my favorites. This was one of my favorites. We got to get a little bit more character out of the what would they call her, the forger?
Yeah, the forger. Basically the leader. Yeah, the leader of the tribe,
but the alchemist of the Mandalorian.
Yeah, of the Death Watch. No. The Death Watch is the other Mandalorians. I apologize. And Jin Darden is something else, I think.
The Death Watch is
oh my god, I forgot her name too. God damn it.
Okay, so 3. Yeah, the Death Watch is those three characters that they're kind of like a splinter cell of the Mandalorian. They
Yeah,
take their
yeah.
helmet off.
No, it's not more so Splinter Cell. The Splinter Cell is actually Mando's. It's for the Mandalorian roots, right? Let's say Din Djarin's sect or his group, the Way, right, is
Yeah.
the fundamentalist of the
Yeah.
Mandalorian. You know,
By
that's
the
very much that.
book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which we learn about in this episode, and really this did a lot to not only set up season 3 of Mandalorian,
Yeah.
but it really kind of explains everything about what the Mandalorian is, because you have to understand too is there's a reason why Boba Fett wears the armor that he wears. It was his father's armor, and we know, I believe, through history that Jango was a Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And really and truly, Boba Fett's history in the original trilogy, that he too was a Mandalorian. Maybe not by the book as his father or a Din Djarin is, but like I said, there is a reason why he wears the helmet. And again, I know people want to absolutely, and I'm gonna get ahead of myself, want to shit on this series, and they're the same people that I'm never gonna watch the prequel trilogy. I'm never gonna watch the sequel trilogy. Empire Strikes Back is the greatest Star Wars movie ever made, and they just just stick. I'm like, was Rise of Skywalker good? No.
Yeah.
Was Last Jedi good? No. Was it entertaining? Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that a story was told. We got something. Force Awakens was a love letter to Star Wars fans. It was absolutely what I have loved to see George Lucas's sequel script. Yeah, but as George says, we didn't deserve it because we bitched and complained. And when I say we, I don't mean like me and JR. I mean all the other dickhead trolls.
Yeah.
Book of Boba Fett, was it perfect? No. It was highly entertaining, and I look at it this way: no Star Wars is bad Star Wars. I love the stories being told, and whatnot, and I like what this episode does in that it pulls from different stuff. And obviously, it can't pull from the sequel trilogy because it hasn't happened yet, but it pulls from the prequels. And one of my other favorite moments, though, I loved the backstory on the Mandalorian, and I am so excited to see what Book of Boba Fett, what Mandalorian season 3 brings to the Mandalorian lore.
Yeah, just go. I mean, without trying to break down every single episode, man. Like,
no, absolutely not.
Yeah, and even though I freaking started, I will say that openly. I started that bullcrap with this stuff, but it's hard to come back from episode 6. I'll just say that now. It's the amount of animosity I've seen towards Book of Boba Fett is from longtime fans, but at the same time, these longtime fans, hey man, we don't have any concept of time for some reason. Like, we expect Boba Fett to be the Boba Fett from the comics we read, from the animated series that I watched when I was in my late teens, right? Where Boba Fett was doing all this wild and crazy shit, and forgets the fact that the actor playing him is damn near 60. and like, no wonder it doesn't look good on camera, because the dude wants to do these roles. And granted, people are saying, well, he's in costume, you can have an actor play it out. It doesn't look as authentic. That's the biggest thing.
Same thing with what's his name playing Din Djarin. Yeah, sometimes there's a stunt double, but he wanted to play the role,
and he looks good doing so. But like, the amount of animosity I have towards it, specifically with the amount of animosity that goes to Book of Boba Fett from fans, right? And the type of, like, not the bitterness I have towards them is like, bro, like, just be happy we got Book of Boba Fett. Just be happy. Like, I understand people want, a 1-1 comparison of like how badass Boba is, right? But we keep on forgetting, like, dude, you weren't paying attention to the story. This was a kid, and I have to say, he's a clone
Yeah,
Clone. He's a
he's a
clone of his
clone.
father. He's an unfiltered or they haven't messed with his DNA type of clone. The only other clone with that one I wanted to say
Unaltered clone. That's what I was trying to think of.
the unaltered clone. There was another unaltered there was another unaltered clone that was revealed in Bad Batch that y'all motherfuckers should be watching. And I hope she will make an appearance eventually. If one was the Omega, if one was the Alpha, another's the Omega. That's a little tidbit for everyone to watch, to watch Bad Batch. But it's just, you have to understand this, man. This is an older Boba, obviously.
Yeah.
And this is a Boba that is wanting community, who got community and wanted to represent those things, those same core functions and values that he got from community to others. He wants to have a type of camaraderie that, hello, for those who watch Clone Wars, all the clones freaking had a level of camaraderie around those who were literally arm in arm, neck and neck in the freaking muck, fighting a freaking war. This is the thing that Boba has lost, and that's the reason why it became a merc to begin with, a type of meaning for that type of camaraderie. Now, going back onto to episode 6, it's crazy. Oh my god, I love that. Like, it became Star Wars again for me. Like, I understand we're watching Book of Boba Fett, but it became Star Wars again. And I'm like, yes, this is how you do it, Filoni. It's you, isn't it? It's freaking you.
It was.
And so,
real quick too, I do want to go back just real quick.
Yeah.
Again, this tied into what I had to say about the people crapping on the prequel trilogies.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts of episode 5, which again, I know Bryce Dallas Howard did a fantastic job. It does not compare to episode 6. And when I say episode 6, I mean the 6th episode of Book of Boba Fett. People go like, what do you mean by episode 6? Why are you crapping on Return of the Jedi? I loved the inclusion of the Naboo Royal Fighter as his new Razor Crest. I loved that he tested it out by going through Beggar's Canyon and basically redid the pod race. Everything about it, I loved it. And then I will say this though, missed opportunity when he gets pulled over by those 2 X-Wings. We know that Mr. Kim.
Yep.
I forgive me for not knowing the actor's name. I sincerely apologize. He's a great actor. I did not know when I watched Kim's Convenience, which is a great show on Netflix. Hilarious. We of course got Simu Liu, who's also in that show. So you have a Marvel superhero and as well as a Star Wars character now has come from Kim's Convenience. Is Mr. Kim, the guy who played the character, the actor who plays that character is a massive Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
I mean, a nerd of epic proportions. And so this is like a dream come true for him to be in a Star Wars film. But when in the scene where he pulls up next to the 2 X-Wing and the guy wants to arrest him, which, by the way, the guy who's in the other X-Wing, that was the body double for Luke Skywalker in the final episode of Mandalorian season 2. I was waiting for Mando before he hit the hyperdrive button to go, okay, see ya, and then hit the button, because it would have been a great callback. Okay, see you. But no, I loved it. I love the Naboo fighter. I love his new ship. It's freaking badass. Though I've never been a big fan of her, like on Saturday Night Live, the lady who plays the gearhead down there.
Her. She's still a great addition for me, like in these type of roles.
It's a great role. I think she speaks Jawa. That was funny. So
yeah. As much as I would love to just completely gush over episode 7, right? But I'm pretty sure everything you said. Like, one, the type of I'm pretty sure they hired I'm pretty sure Disney, or at least this specific Star Wars series, hired the guy that did the deep fakes that made a much more realistic Luke. on
I
YouTube.
know. Oh
I'm
yeah,
pretty sure they hired that guy. I'm pretty sure it's been said multiple times as well. But like it was the deep fake for Luke was really really freaking good, much better. But that's not saying that a Mandalorian Luke wasn't bad at all. It's just that
this was
the resemblance is
amazing.
uncanny. It's
It's ridiculous.
insane. Yeah.
Jr. And again, job well done by Bryce Dallas Howard. Then you've got hold on, we got to get it in here. Full on Felonious. Episode 6 was ridiculous. It was amazing. Jr. texted me and said, "Dude, you got to watch it right now. Like we could do a whole episode just on episode 6, which we almost did." I was 10 minutes in and went, "This is the best single episode of content that Disney Plus."
I said that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You said this.
It was the best Star Wars episode that was on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And then Jared said, "This is the best episode of content that Disney Plus has produced." Yeah, and that says a lot because you and I are big fans of WandaVision and Loki and Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hell, even some of the other stuff. Yeah, even some of the other stuff that's on Disney Plus itself, like the culmination specifically for us fans, that to have one Luke fucking Skywalker out there with Ahsoka Tano in the background, and he's trying to teach baby fucking Yoda Grogu in one scene.
And it started off with Justified with what's his name?
Yeah. Oh my god, dude,
Cod something.
Cod Bent. Yeah.
And he's taken out the which we find out spice is basically heroin. And then we go to Mando wanting to meet up with the child. He's like, "I'm going to give the child this gift," which we saw at the end of episode 5. We see him meet up with Boba Fett and Agent May. I always forget the character. Fennec. We meet because I have one thing I have to do. Of course, it opens up with him going to visit on the Jedi Island, which we don't know yet where that exists. Is it the temple that is burned in the sequel trilogies? Is it a landscape that becomes the islands that we know that Luke goes? And my wife thinks that the seas rose on that planet, and that where he was building that building out of rock with all those little robot droids, that's the planet that Rey finds Luke on at the end of Force Awakens. But then there's a group of people that said, because we didn't get to see close enough to the Jedi Temple or the Jedi Academy that Luke builds and is burned down by Kylo Ren.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
I think you're right. I think that's probably what it is.
I'm definitely in the camp of like that's the first Jedi Temple post Empire, and so that's in my camp. That's what I'm thinking of. Again, this is gonna be the Filoni verse. The one thing that I hate, or the one thing that I greatly dislike, is the fact that the recent trilogies, right, are gonna come to pass. It's gonna happen. Because one, George Lucas is a fucking perfectionist, and Filoni adopts that, and so they're gonna do their best to try to make gold out of junk.
They're gonna make chicken salad out of chicken shit. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they're gonna hey, we're stuck with this canon.
They're gonna somehow, they're gonna somehow make another fucking clone saga from the recent trilogies, right? It's bound to happen, and I feel like they're gonna try to make sense of it. Granted, I do feel like a lot of other characters that have yet to be announced or even yet to be seen on screen are gonna make their way, because guess the freak what? We've seen their co-character. We've seen the characters that are usually with them.
Yeah,
and so that's gonna be cool to see, man. Oh my god, the ending scene though.
Well, let's talk about it real quick before we get into this. And Dave Filoni wrote, directed, and pretty much just ran with episode 6 all by himself.
It had to be him because those are all his characters.
It was.
Like
finally, again, you get Cod Bennett. Was it Cod
Bennett?
You get him. He comes back. Then you go on the island, and there's Luke with Grogu. That's fantastic. And then when Ahsoka Tano comes out, it's like, oh my gosh, this is fantastic.
Yes.
But when he leaves the planet and he leaves Luke with the gift, which ends up being the chainmail, the interaction between Luke and Ahsoka.
Yeah. Oh, that was great.
When Ahsoka says, "You have so much of your father in you."
Yeah, just like your father.
Oh my God. It was just
like for me when I saw that, dude, and I heard that, like I didn't know how much I needed that scene.
Just because literally right before that, I was like, because I think that's right after I texted you, and I'm watching it like a giddy little schoolgirl.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when she walks onto scene with Luke, and I know it's not Mark Hamill per se, but it's Luke Skywalker. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the most awkward. This should be the most awkward scene in the Star Wars universe, because here is Luke Skywalker, the literal spawn of Darth Vader, of Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
And that is his Padawan, who went into hiding, who for all intents and purposes left, tucked her tail between her legs, and ran into hiding when Order 66 was issued, which, by the way,
I gotta push back. She didn't tuck tail and run.
But she went into hiding. I mean, I know she did. I know she did. But she understood what was going on, and that she, But how about that too? The flashback scene of Grogu at the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, or at least it's assumed.
Yeah, no, it is. It's because the Jedi in the middle is his name, dude. But we see him in the original series.
So you see the Jedi fighting off, defending the younglings.
What's his name?
Or at least it's assumed it's the younglings. It may just be Grogu.
Yeah.
And so people are wondering, how did Grogu get off Coruscant? How did he survive Order 66? We don't know. It's never explained. There is fan theories going around that Obi-Wan went back when he went back to the temple. That when they searched the entire temple, which they show in the Rise of the, what do I call it? Not Rise of the Sith. What was the last?
Revenge
of the Sith.
No.
The last episode.
Yeah.
In episode 3, in Revenge of the Sith, when Obi-Wan and Yoda go back to the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, and he goes, "Younglings, they killed the younglings," and Yoda goes to look at the recordings. Then the recordings are altered, but then they find out that was Anakin. There's a fan theory that while they are searching the Jedi Temple, that Obi-Wan finds Grogu, and of course, Yoda, being able to sense things, knows that the Force is strong with Grogu and says, we need to put him into hiding. And that's how Grogu, and that's the rumor. And it could be explained that in Obi-Wan, the new show, which we found out is coming out at the end of May.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that. But
it's gonna be fun.
Let's go back to that last scene, because I was trying to think, what was the last scene, and then I remember.
I want to go. Actually, let me go farther back. Rosario Dawson.
Love her.
Oh my God, I love her. And not only that, but she's becoming more and more of Ahsoka Tano. That I know.
Because she's a nerd.
Her mannerisms, her just like always crossing her arms and just looking and stuff, and like just small little things. I'm like, I can hear Ashley Eckstein's voice. I can see the mannerisms, and I'm so happy that she's like the small stuff that we saw from her. I'm super excited to see what's going to happen in her solo series, as well as possibly people coming up from Rebels coming into the fold. Oh my God! And here's hoping that there's also more with the other Mandalorians too. But going back into the final scene of episode 6,
the choice. Do you choose
No, not the final scene, but like the one before that. No, yeah, the one before that. The from the desert comes a stranger. Cad
Oh,
motherfucking Bane. Oh my god. I I really downplayed him in my and I downplayed him, but like I didn't touch upon him. I didn't speak about his character enough in my initial breakdown of the Clone Wars animated series because like it was just we just too pressed for time. But good God, if Boba Fett is seen as one of the best mercs of this time, Cad Bane is the god of mercs.
yeah.
Like
He's taught
you
him
have
everything he knows.
you have to understand this man. If it Cad Bane going onto a field is like having a nuke on the field. Is like this man. I keep on forgetting, and I don't know, and I keep on forgetting to tell people like this dude has fought literal Jedi's. He's fought Obi-Wan multiple fucking times. He's fought Anakin with Obi-Wan multiple fucking times. Cad Bane is not a man to fuck with, and him being older, and of course the inevitable end and sad end possibly that we've seen so far of Cad Bane was actually, I will say, what was foretold a long freaking time ago. It was bound to happen because there was supposed to be this resolution conflict with. I'm not going into episode 7, but it was
No,
bound
go
to
ahead.
happen because it was bound to happen because Filoni wanted it to happen, or George wanted it to happen. We wanted the person who was going to quote unquote kill Cad Bane was gonna be Boba Fett. I think they made a unreleased
Yeah, there
like
was
an
the
unreleased animation thing that happened a long freaking time, like 2015 or so. And so that
I
was, yeah, that was the thing
believe
that
is
went wrong.
an unaired
Yeah,
ending to one of the final episodes
yeah.
of the original run of the Clone Wars.
Which yeah, they wanted to be like in somewhere in thinking in season 7, but of
Yeah,
course this is when just years after they got bought out, that George Lucas got or Lucasfilms got bought out by
by
Disney.
Disney. And so in it, and you can see that for those of you watching the show, watching the show on YouTube and Twitch
Mm.
and Facebook and Twitter, we have a picture of Boba Fett sitting behind us, and you see on his helmet the dent in his helmet, the blaster shot, and the in the unaired, so it's not canon per se, and it's still not explained.
Yeah,
On the
unfinished.
unfinished scene that was never aired,
Mhm.
Cad Bane shoots and hits Boba Fett in the helmet. He thinks kills him and I guess takes off.
Yeah.
And then of course that's why in episode 7, Boba Fett wants his revenge. But yeah, going back to the choice scene,
Mhm.
we see Grogu sitting before Luke Skywalker, his Jedi Master,
Yeah.
um, and he has this chainmail made for him, sitting in front of him, made from the Beskar of the staff that Mando won in battle,
Mhm.
um, and we see a tiny lightsaber put out for him to choose.
Yeah,
And we
man.
find out that not only is this some kind of lightsaber, but this is Master Yoda's
Mhm.
lightsaber that Luke stole from Dagobah at the
Oh my
end of Return of the Jedi, when
yeah.
or the beginning of Return of the Jedi,
Yeah.
when Yoda dies.
Mhm.
Um, but I think it is too kind of. I take that back. I think it is kind of insinuated in 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 the sequel trilogies that Luke does keep the
Yeah.
lightsabers of previous masters. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of
Uh,
curious. There's a theory going around too, Jr. To bring that out to the forefront. Do you think that Luke had Mace Windu's? Did he have other? I mean, he wouldn't obviously. Mace Windu died prior to Luke being born, but
yeah.
so
Uh, I don't know, man. It's a possible
because
like
there's one other
everything's.
person that's yielded a
I mean,
purple lightsaber in the canon, right?
uh,
I thought there was someone from
that's
the Clone Wars or something like that.
no. It was just Mace. Well, it was because Samuel Jack wanted a fucking purple lightsaber, but
Yeah,
still. Yeah, there was other people in. I can't say canon because it's called Legacy now, but there has I think been one or so other characters. I think there's
In the
one also
books, yeah.
in the book. I think there's one character right now in High Republic that wields the purple
Okay.
lightsaber.
I
Uh,
thought there was someone in Clone Wars or
mm-mm,
Rebels that had one, and
I
people
don't
have said that,
recall.
and people have said that, oh, it was, well, no, that wouldn't make sense because Clone Wars takes place while Mace Windu is still alive.
Yeah,
But anyways, getting off topic. Anyways, so I don't
yeah.
know. That's a theory. But yeah, just oh,
Oh,
brutal to
going
see.
yeah, dude. Going back too, man. I've seen a lot of people, a lot of reactors, and a lot of people online like, why can't he have both type of thing, right? And I need to really make reference to this point, right? If a majority of the tropes we've seen in the show, one thing, the trope that was really hammered home throughout the whole series and even Mandalorian is that any story can be a Star Wars story.
Yep.
The reference point to this particular scene was in of when Luke gave Grogu, who was a child, right at this point, a choice of like, do you choose this or that, the lightsaber or or the shield, is a reference point to Wolf and Cub, which is another which is another animated or animated story. It was comic as well, but where reference about like a samurai who 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 sees an orphan child, if I remember correctly, yeah, an orphan child, and he asks the child, "You can choose one thing. I can send you back with your family now. I can send your family. I can send you to your family in heaven if you choose this. But if you choose a sword, I'll teach you." And you see this trope in a lot of other mediums or in a lot of their stories since that, right?
Yeah.
The most, yeah, like it's been that trope for a while. And so that specific scene was given basically homage to that. Like, here's your choice. You can do this or that because simple fact, like the simple fact is this: you're gonna outlive everybody. You're gonna outlive Luke, and so again, you're gonna there. It was definitely a choice that needed to be said, and I'm glad they made that hard line because one, emotionally, dude, and dramatically, it was a great thing to have anyway. Uh, Going into the final episode, and
Oh
I
my.
feel like we should just critique the last episode. I had fun with episode 7.
I had fun.
Yeah,
Really and truly, my only complaint about it, and it's my only complaint,
360
is my
blaster fire.
it's my consistent complaint about the show was the biker kids, or I can't remember what they're called.
Yeah. The android
They have
bike.
a name. The mods. They call them the
Yeah.
mods.
Yeah.
The wannabe
Cyberpunk.
Tatooine freaking
Cyberpunk.
Vespas. The wannabe cyberpunk
Mm-hmm.
Tatooine Vespa bike crew
Mm-hmm.
that these guys were.
Yeah, it was kind of try hard. It was very try hard on
It
that end.
didn't make
Yeah.
any sense. It
Mm-hmm.
literally it made no sense for there to be a wannabe Avril Lavigne circa 19 or from like circa 2002
Mm-hmm.
riding a Tatooine Vespa through the dirt. It just didn't make any sense. And I get that they're trying to bring in a younger audience and they're trying to bring in younger characters because really and truly, if you think about Star Wars, there are a lot of middle-aged characters. There's
Yep.
very few young characters. Rey, Luke, Anakin were
Yep.
all the only young characters that the series had.
Ahsoka for a time. I mean, for those
Ahsoka,
of us.
yeah,
Yeah.
Ahsoka in animation form, but even then, we never got a. They did it more younger because obviously it's a cartoon; it's geared towards children.
Yeah.
But really, if you think about it, live action characters, Luke, Ray, Luke, Ray, and Anakin are the
Yeah.
only
Young Jedi.
young characters,
Younger. Yeah.
younger characters. Finn was younger, but Poe Dameron is alluded to be in his late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
Finn, you have to assume is probably meant to be in his late or his early 20s.
Yeah.
Ray is geared to be in her
Mid
late
20s.
teens, early 20s.
Yeah.
Luke was always was I
He
for
was in his
people
mid 20s. Like
Luke, I've heard that Luke was meant to be a teenager. That Mark Hamill's come out and said that George Lucas wanted him to basically, even though he didn't look it because he was in his 20s, that Mark Hamill was supposed to be someone in his
younger.
his teens, but it doesn't
Teens.
add up because he
Yeah,
should because of when he was born and yet. Anyways, but everybody else, I mean, even like Ewan McGregor's version of Obi-Wan Kenobi in Phantom Menace is probably a mid-20s, late 20s guy.
But
So
he's supposed to be a child.
I get it. I get what they were trying to do. And Jerry, you and I mentioned too, I think one of the things too that was a bit, you mentioned the character who plays Boba Fett. And my brother pointed this out. It's very similar to Samuel L. Jackson from Captain Marvel. Was they did a great job at de-aging Samuel L. Jackson to make him look like what Nick Fury would look like in 1993, as opposed to current Nick Fury, which is like circa or 2020, 2000 teens, 2020. Is you shoot him from the chest down, and he's still a 70-year-old man.
Yeah,
you got to hide his weaknesses, accentuate the positives, and they didn't do that with his Boba Fett fighting skills.
It's very much that aspect of like you have to understand. Well, one there, I understand why I gave it to I forgot the actor's name, Tim, the awesome actor, where he was played Boba for a very very long freaking time, right? So you have to give him honor. Like he
was great. I don't think anybody else should have played him.
Yeah, absolutely. So like I understand why. Right, I understand why you gave him those points. He played Boba Fett even in the Visions in the animated Visions series that came out recently too. So I understand why I do it.
Tamira
Morrison. So that is a type of effect where he owned that role for years, right? He owned that role for years. Going forward, though, you have to understand why this is my hesitation with casting older stars because they look closer to the character, right? This is the exact same notion I had with like people wanting to recast Nathan Drake, right, for Uncharted, like with what's the name, dude? He was in Castle.
Oh.
Yeah, and the Rookie right now, but him. Him. Because he looks so much like Drake from Uncharted, and they wanted him to be in the Uncharted movie. I'm like, dude, that guy's pushing 50 years old.
Yeah,
he's pushing 50, and you want him to do the crazy shit that's in Uncharted? No, man, you can't have that. And so you see those kind of pratfalls with Book of Boba Fett going forward now. We will definitely see what's gonna young cast is gonna be. I feel like that's what the young kids, right? I don't necessarily have a problem with them. I feel like they're campy as hell too, though. I feel like it does fit the Star Wars vibe to have those campy ass characters. And I'm giving Filoni the benefit of the doubt. Like he has so much good karma with me. I'm like, all right, cool. You know, people felt the same way with Ahsoka, and they turned it around with her instantly, right? And so I want to see what's going to happen with those characters in a couple episodes or in a couple of seasons. Overall, I do feel like Robert Rodriguez takes back the helm as a director to do episode 7. I feel like it's the same for me. I love Robert Rodriguez, but I feel like we fall in the same pratfalls of Robert Rodriguez directing style. It felt very much like, for me, it felt very much like Once Upon a Time in Mexico, right? Not specifically the Mariachi franchise, just Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
And I think I mentioned the same thing. I was like, my brother was comparing it to Desperado, but I think he meant to say Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Yeah.
Which I believe is the third of the El Mariachi trilogy.
Yeah. Yeah, like Mariachi was good. Desperado was the best, and to follow up basically Desperado with Once Upon a Time in Mexico is like it's good, but there's a lot of things that
it missed the heart of.
Yes, you missed the heart of like everything.
Yeah.
A lot of the critiques I have for the film for this is that, all right, what do we do now? I understand why spoiler alert, they killed Cad Bane in the film because the prosthetics. Possibly, they said that he stabbed through and possibly dead. Maybe not. Hopefully, he comes back in some
blinking.
True. It's hard to get those prosthetics on him. Two, and again, to do the amount of shit that Cad Bane did, fighting two to three Jedi in the series, fighting against Fennec Shan, fighting against Boba Fett, fighting against the who's who of the Star Wars universe,
Yep.
right? It's gonna be hard to try to mimic live action. It's just that it's gonna be freaking hard to do, just with practical effects, just with like really good stunt work and all that, right? It was hard for Fennec Shan. I forgot the actress's name, but for her to just kind of just do her parkour shit,
You
right?
forgot Fennec Shan?
The actress name. I forgot her name.
Well, now you just Ming Na Wen.
Ming Na Wen, right? For her to, she does a lot of like her own stunts as well, but
Absolutely.
for her to just to constantly just do that stuff too. And so again, we have this thing of like age really does catch up and really does show on screen. And so that's why we have a push towards younger actresses and actors to hopefully do this shit. Going back with Ian McGregor, right? Going back with Ian McGregor with him being Obi-Wan at first. People had certain hesitations towards it, right? But then we see his freaking amazing fight scene, right? In episode 1. And like, cool, this is him. This is going to be Obi-Wan. And so for me, the thing is that the story was there. They did kind of fall from the finale. It was just too much to try to wrap into one tiny bow because the expectations were so high. I was definitely expecting. I was 100% expecting a Jedi to show up. I don't know if it was going to be to Luke or I don't know if it was going to be Luke or Ahsoka. If it's going to be one of those, that means Dave Filoni's going to write. Dave Filoni's going to direct it, and that wasn't going to be the case. Overall, it was for me. It was a oh my god, I cannot wait for the future of Star Wars.
Yeah, it left me wanting more in two ways. One, did they stick the landing? No. I did like, though my wife called it on with the creature.
Oh yeah.
She called that.
Yeah.
And then so she liked that. I hated the dude doing the spin noob shot.
I'm like, that was unnecessary, but like, whatever, bro.
Like,
You have 5
what
minutes
are
of
you
screen time.
doing?
Like, I get it.
And
I get it. You have 5 minutes screen time.
And I love the fact that what's his name from Nerdist just roasted him, and of course that's the one that I posted on my Instagram page.
Yeah.
Of them just roasting him about it, and I like how they did it. It was like, dude, what are you trying to do? Trying to freaking no scope, dude? This is not Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Like you said, it very much had a One Upon a Time in Mexico vibe. But like I said, it left me wanting more, but at the same time, it left the door open that it's like, oh, we're gonna get some more. Going back to the closing moments of the show, and we'll kind of end on this and then kind of give our fan theories.
Let me actually instead of
go right ahead, sir.
I just continue that, but I want to not my rants of the week, but like how people view how the internet and other people has viewed Book of Boba Fett as a solo series. But go ahead, continue.
I like that we didn't lose Black Chrysanthemum.
Of course we weren't gonna need to lose him because
I love the fact that Ming Na Wen and her very Agent Melinda May espionage way managed to infiltrate the syndicate and take out basically the remaining heads of the families. And like I said, it was great because it said "In the Name of Honor" was the name of that episode. The character, I'm looking it up. Oh my gosh, I'm just completely
Cobb Vanth.
Yeah, I like that we finally got our first post-credit scene.
Yeah,
in it, and of course we go to the end of the post-credits, and we go because it was very foreshadowed throughout.
Yeah.
The ending of the last episode was the Bantha tank.
Yeah.
And of course, for those who don't know what it is, the Bantha tank is, of course, famously originally seen at the end of Empire Strikes Back, where we see Luke healing it after he had his arm chopped off and whatnot on Cloud City. And then, of course, we've seen throughout this series, we've seen Boba Fett healing in the Bantha tank. We see someone in there. We see the guy who is modded Fennec Sal in, I think it was like episode 3 or something like that, explains how she came back from the dead. And we see him and we look at the tank, and it is the sheriff. It is
Timothy Oliphant.
Timothy Oliphant. And that's how it ends. And we're like, oh, hey, what? So we're left with that. Is there a season 2? Is that going to be explained in Mandalorian season 3? We don't know.
Yeah, I will say this: the amount of hate that was given to the Book of Boba Fett's way, specifically the episodes 5 and 6, like, oh, it's it's there's memes out there like, oh yeah, so Boba Fett is so true to his character, he says nothing and is gone for most of the episodes, some shit, right? And I've seen so many other type of articles saying that, as like a casual fan, what is Book of Boba Fett, right? Like, this series wasn't made for y'all. This was made for me and him, the people that have been invested in this series for a very long fucking time, that has been invested in this series and knows that if you guys have paid attention to not just the mainline movies, but to Clone Wars saga and Clone Wars animated series,
I still need to finish. I have not finished it.
It's a good time, bro.
Absolutely, I was enjoying
it. It's a good freaking time, and a lot of the things that are wrapped up in Book of Boba Fett were first hinted at in the Clone Wars series. Period. Cobb Vanth. Oh no, not Cobb Vanth. The Darth. Oh my god, I'm fucking missing his name, dude. Cad Bane. The introduction of what Boba Fett wanted to do, and his camaraderie of wanting to be around people. A lot of things. Ahsoka Tano, fucking Ahsoka with Luke. Oh my god! Like a lot.
Again, best moment of the series so far.
A lot of this, a lot of it came to be. It's like I gave you this interpretation of like people who of people who saw Book of Boba Fett and doesn't get it, right? I gave you this same comparison. It's like people who watch Marvel movies, right? Or for people who like want to get interested, like watch it, right? And like critiquing Marvel movies but never watched it. Like the best interpretation of people who had this animosity towards Book of Boba Fett is as if someone came into watching Endgame and going, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah,
right. It's like what's all this going on? Or let's say this: if those who only watch the films, the mainline films, and never watch any of the other stuff like Clone Wars saga, it'll be like if someone watched only in Marvel movies, strictly talking Marvel movies. If you watch Captain America 1, Captain America 2, and then Civil War, and you are kind of like confused to seeing why the fuck Iron Man's there. Right? It's very much that. Like you're going into just seeing Civil War and going, why the hell is he there? Why does he have so much screen time? Why did the story? I want to see Captain America. I don't care about him. It's the same thing. It is a revolving story that's going on.
Ever evolving story, and people don't realize too is like this is an important story that we're telling, because not only we're telling how a pivotal character, a major character, a fan favorite character managed to survive, which we thought was his inevitable death in Return of the Jedi. But we're bridging the gap. We're learning about what happened in the 30 years between the events of Return of the Jedi and the fall of the Galactic Empire and the rise of the rebellion to the inevitable fall of the rebellion, the fall of the Jedi Order, and the rise of the New Order, and the fall, and then of course inevitably the rise of the I forget what the new rebels were called.
Yeah, I forgot.
But anyways,
it's just it's
like I said. I will say this. Was Book of Boba Fett great? No, it's a solid 6 out of 10, maybe 6, 7 out of 10. But no Star Wars. Or this is better than no Star Wars.
Yeah,
I'll take this any day of the week. Dave Filoni.
I'm gonna give it a solid 8 for me, just because.
This
when you have the greatest episode that is out on Disney Plus,
it does bring some weight to it.
Yeah.
And guys, if you have not gone and watched, if we just spoiled the hell out of this series for you, oh well, it's still worth the watch.
It's been
Guys,
2 weeks.
If you've only watched it one time through, definitely go back and watch episode 6. It's a great watch. Dave Filoni did a great job. It's well written. Yes, everyone's like, oh, it's a freaking, it's a pardon my French. It's a jerk off for the fans, but it makes sense. It tells multiple stories. It tells the different angles. It sets up so much.
What do you expect out of 7 episodes? And like you try to expand one freaking universe, dude. You're trying to do so much. What Dave Filoni did in damn near 5 seasons, he trying to do in 7 episodes. So like, what do you expect, my guy?
Some of the most pivotal scenes, single moments in Star Wars history.
Yeah.
You have the opening. We'll go through it. The opening of the doors, the dual lightsaber, the opening of Duel of the Fates, Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
I Have the High Ground, episode 3. No, and Obi-Wan never told you who your father was. I am your father from Empire. There, when Yoda is looking down and then he looks up, he goes, "No, there was another." Luke and Ahsoka sitting in that scene, and when Ahsoka says, "You have so much of your father in you," it is one of the single most pivotal moment in the entire galaxy far, far away. It will rank up there. It will resonate forever. Like I said, it goes up there with, pivotal. Like I said, I Have the Higher Ground, and I do put it up there with that moment between Yoda and Obi-Wan in the swamp, where he says, "He was our last hope," and Yoda goes, "No, there was another," which some people will always say is the most confusing scene ever. But no, great scene, love it.
I will just say this, continually say this, man. There was a lot more of those scenes in the animated series.
I have to finish it.
Ahsoka leaving the Jedi Order, right? She didn't tuck tail and leave.
I know, bad example.
She left because of how how so opposed the Jedi Order was to its own teachings that she left. But like that scene particularly of her leaving Anakin, and this is a big thing, right? Because Anakin was in the role of was in the Obi-Wan role now to her, but understood why she had to leave, because like he's too vested into this now. His childhood's gone. She gets to laugh hers, and so she left. That was one particular scene, and just that combination of that scene into her saying, "You're so much like your father, so just like your father," is a culmination that's like, what fucking came. That episode came out in 2012, I think. Nearly 10 damn years, man. A long fucking time. We were waiting for that scene, like some type of like reprieve of trying to find that, and now we get it. I'm like, that series was made for the fans that've been rocking with Star Wars, or at least the Clone Wars animated series, for that long. It's for you. It's for you new fuckers, but honestly, they know where the actual fans lie. It's very much that, dude. This series was made for that. For us, man, who knew going into it. And I love it. I fucking love it when studios, they don't handhold you to every little thing, which sure Book of Boba Fett did a little bit, but they expect you to understand that this is a universe that was before you and will continue after you. I fucking love it.
Great series. Definitely recommend if you're a Star Wars fan. If we spoiled it, tough titties, whatever, go back and watch it. Real quick, next week, I think we're going to continue to do these bonus episodes. We'll try to do them on Wednesdays if we can, as schedule allows. We do have we'll do a main episode. I know JR is working on a couple of things. I don't know what our topic's going to be this weekend. If we get an episode out this weekend, But these Wednesday episodes are going to start to be a more regular thing. These will be your bonus episodes, your quote Disney Plus or whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
I'm going to throw it out here right now. Next Wednesday bonus episode. If JR hasn't finished it, he needs to. Next Wednesday, I'm throwing out there Peacemaker.
Sure.
The show has come to an end. It was a wild ride. A lot went into that, but an epic final episode that had the world talking for one scene and one scene only, and we will talk about that.
Yeah.
And John,
I'll
we'll talk about everything John Cena next week. So much goodness came out of the show. It was weird. Don't get me wrong.
Of course,
weird
of course it was.
Fuck. But it was hilarious. It was James Gunn at his just weirdest. And the countdown is on, my friend. The countdown is on Tuesday. As we record this, it is Wednesday, February 23rd. So on this coming Tuesday, it is March 1st, which means we are inside 4 weeks from one of the most anticipated, fight me on this, the most anticipated Marvel project to date. And that is the Disney Plus series Moon Knight coming, launching it at the end of March.
Yeah.
Mark Spector has been one of the most craved characters for Marvel Studios to adopt. This is probably going to be, from simply a character standpoint, one of the most ambitious, one of the most difficult, one of the most sought after series that they will do on Disney Plus, because I said it's such a handle with care kind of character, because you could do it so wrong, but you could do it so right.
I'm gonna keep my expectations super low on that specifically, because I want to be surprised.
I don't, and I'm really avoiding spoilers on this one.
Yeah, we're basically dealing with Marvel Batman at a certain point,
but a level of weirdness that we're headed towards. I mean, maybe not multiverse level, but we're talking about schizophrenia and multiple personalities and stuff like that.
Yeah, so. It's very much Mark Spector has been one of the characters, mainline characters that really is like, hey, this is an individual that has a lot of issues, So,
and I applaud Marvel. And this goes all the way back to WandaVision and introducing a character like Agatha Harkness, going to Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and them introducing forgive me for forgetting his name, but the Black Captain America, the original Black Captain America,
Isaiah Bradley,
and so on forth, and Loki, introducing characters like these off the out of nowhere characters.
Yeah.
Moon Knight is that Mark Spector, and it's such a unique character, and even I don't know enough about it because he's so weird, but I'm really excited about it. And then, of course, at the end of Moon Knight, which I believe is going to be a 6-episode run, it's a limited series. Will take us through April into May. We'll have a short break. Of course, there'll be Star Wars Day at the beginning of May, which I'm sure we'll do something around that. But May 25th is the debut of Obi-Wan, and JR, you have me thinking. Can Rosario Dawson or someone play a young? Can Ahsoka Tano make a cameo in this series and cross paths with? Because we know Hayden Christensen's back as Anakin Skywalker. So
that's going to be interesting, because like those scenes have already happened.
Yeah.
They've already happened in Rebels. They've already happened in Clone Wars saga, or the Clone Wars animated series. But it's a possibility we can see them again. It's just that people need to people. I feel like it's gonna be more focused on Obi-Wan and them. If we do see Ahsoka, cool. It just, for me, those scenes already happened. Yeah. I'll just say that most.
Okay. So, guys, thank you so much for staying up with us late on a Wednesday. We will do Peacemaker next Wednesday. We'll do a regular episode for you about something. I didn't have it today, but I'll make sure to have it on episodes going forward. Is the pool list for the current week. or the upcoming week rather, on the bottom. But of course, scrolling there right now, if you're watching the video, is all of our social media stuff. We will, like I said, we will do Moon Knight when it comes out in a couple of weeks. Again, don't forget, guys, you can follow us on all social media platforms, including Twitter, which is PS Comics I Love with the letter U. PS Comics I Love You on Instagram and Facebook. PS Comics I Love You on YouTube and on Twitch.tv, which you can stream us. You can watch on any of your smart TVs. You can stream us on YouTube or Twitch. You can download our podcast via the any audio podcast platform, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, Anchor.fm, and iHeartRadio. By the way, if you go to any of our social media websites, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, and go to our profile, you will find our link tree address. And if not, you can go to link.tree. Was it? Yeah. Link.tree/PS Comics I Love You. All the links are there available for all of our social media and other stuff. You guys can subscribe and whatnot. So it's easy to navigate and get around and stuff like that. So guys, thank you so much. Again, also not JR Comics 42 on Instagram, Voice of Reason 23 on all social media platforms except for TikTok. Guys, thank you so much for staying up with this. Book of Boba Fett is in the books. The countdown is on. Moon Knight's coming up just around the corner, and then Obi-Wan. And the future is only bright, my friend. We've got a busy 2022.
Before that, though, March 4th, The Batman, which I'm going to watch. Yeah, guys.
I'm really excited about The Batman, but I don't know if I'm going to make it to the theater, but cannot wait. All right, guys, thank you so much. Enjoy your evening. We will see you later on. And, have a great night. Peace.
Peace.